Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
You can also set additional layer options in the layer pane of a 3D Maps tour. To do this, open the 3D Maps tour to edit and then expand the layer options for the desired layer in the layer pane. Click the arrow next to the Layer Options set of layer options to expand that section. The first one or two sliders that appear in this Layer Options section of the layer pane let you scale the charted data. The exact choices that appear here change depending on the visualization type you selected in the Data section. You can click and drag the sliders to change the scale of the plotted data or enter percentage values into their adjacent fields to the right. Note that the Region Data Visualization only has one color scale slider. Also, for every data visualization choice other than Region, you can check the Lock Current Scale checkbox below the two sliders so that when you adjust one slider, the other also adjusts to match it based on the current scale. You can uncheck this checkbox to scale the two attributes independently. Next, for every data visualization type, you can set the opacity of the mapped data by using the Opacity slider. Alternatively, you can adjust the opacity by entering a percentage value into the Opacity slider's adjacent field. Next, for every data visualization type other than the Heat Map choice, you can use the Color drop-down to change the color of the plotted data. If you don't have any fields in the Category field in the Data section of the layer pane, then you select the name of a data field that you placed into the Value, Size, or Height fields in the Data section to change its color. Then use the adjacent Color Selector drop-down to select the desired color for the currently selected value field. If you did add a field to the Category field in the Data section of the layer pane, then you instead select the name of a category from the selected field from the Color drop-down, and then use the adjacent Color drop-down to set its color. Alternatively, if you selected the Heat Map Data Visualization type, then you will instead see a Visual Aggregation drop-down that lets you select the function to use to map the value data. To set custom heat map colors, then select Custom from the adjacent Colors drop-down. Then select the Range mode used to indicate color by choosing either Auto, by percent, or by value from the next drop-down. For each choice, you then set the color for the low and high values by using the adjacent Color Selector drop-down for each one. If you also selected the By Value choice, you can also enter a value for the low and high choice into the adjacent value fields. To then add more intermediate colors between the low and high values, click the Add Color button to add additional colors you want. For each color you add, use its Color Selector drop-down to set its color. If you selected either by percent or by value, then also enter its related value or percent into its adjacent value field. To remove a color you added, click the X button at its right end. For all data visualization types, you can choose to show or hide the display of zeros, negative numbers, and null or unknown values by checking or unchecking the zeros, negatives, and nulls checkboxes. When you play or preview the data in a 3D Maps tour and show the data at different points in the timeline by pausing it, you can then hover your mouse pointer over a mapped data point to show related data in a screen tip data card that pops up on screen by the data point. To customize the content of these data cards for the selected layer, click the Customize button under the data card label in the Layer Options section to open a Customized Data Card window. This window shows a preview of how these data cards will appear at the right side of the window. You can click the right pointing and left pointing arrows above this preview to cycle through the available data card display templates to select the one you prefer. The data fields that appear on your card, based on your current layer's data field selections, appear at the left side of this window. You can also add additional fields to show on the data card here by clicking the plus button next to the Add Field label to show a drop-down menu of data fields. Then click the field to add to the card. When you hover your mouse pointer over a data field in this list, 3 buttons appear to the right of the field's name. In this button grouping, you can click the button that looks like a pencil icon to rename the field by editing its name and then pressing the Enter key on your keyboard. This changes its name within the data card. You can click the Sigma icon button to select whether or not to apply an aggregation function to the field, and if so, which function to apply from the drop-down menu that appears. To remove the field, click the button in this button grouping that looks like an X. If you make changes you don't like and want to reset the card back to its default display, click the Reset to Defaults button in the lower left corner of the Customize Data Card window. To apply your changes after making them, click the OK button in the lower right corner of this window. To cancel any changes you have made, click the Cancel button in the lower right corner of this window instead.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.